We're exceedingly gratified to host the two of you again on Straight Talk Africa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shaka.
You're most welcome. Let me take you, Okere, a little bit back. You talked about how Africa, yes, it may be diverse, but it can actually come together when the need arises. Of course, that when you look at those 54 different countries across the continent, that they have leaders where almost each of them, obviously there are a few exceptions, pretty much does his thing, using the family as the key or the ethnic community and all that kind of stuff. To what extent is that reflected in the African diaspora that lives in America, for example?
Thank you. Frankly, that's the best question I'm taking now because that's what I represent from state of Maryland to nationally. Thank God for the Democratic Party. I keep saying it because the platform they gave us, and also it is good for the government itself to recognize that and help us to work together. Because this is the key. If Africans in the diaspora can work together, it's a reflection to the people back home that Nigerians, Cameroonians, Kenyans, East, West, North are working together. Our people back home should be able to embrace themselves and see themselves as one. For instance, Nigeria, if Igbos, Yoruba, Hausa, Christian, and so on work together, is a message to those back home to work together because we are resemblance. And that is where it is needful to use us as means to communicate and to deliver services that is required back there. So it is important because we are holding ourselves. The longer we keep working individually, the more we hold ourselves. We're making noises, we're not letting the lawmakers hear us clearly because you are talking, I'm talking. But when we come together, bring our needs together, work together, they should be able to pay attention to us. Then we say Africans are speaking. But because you are speaking in behalf of social diaspora, there are millions or thousands of African organizations in the country. But what are the need for all those? What has it done for us? There are many NGOs, African NGO-owned NGOs in the country. What has it done for us? We need to start coming together. We have the number, but our number has not been translated to opportunity for us because we are working individually. Our number is not even identified or well known because we choose to work. Everybody wants to, have his ego. Egos are good, but when we, harness it. I was invited to speak at the Nigerian Diaspora Organization a few weeks ago, and they gave me a topic which is harnessing our natural resources. The morning that I went there, I told them on the stage, I'm not speaking about harnessing the resources, because we already know our resources, but harnessing our potentials, our talents.
You see, a lot of people talk about how they are Pan-Africanist. But when it comes to their lifestyle and the kinds of things they do, frankly, they end up perhaps becoming Igbo.
Thank you.
To what extent would you say, frankly, that Africans living outside of the continent have graduated to the level of, in fact, becoming Africans, therefore moving a little bit out of their community, out of their ethnic cocoons? Because I can tell you for sure that, for example, I am a Michiga from Kabale, southwestern Uganda.
Yeah.
But because of living here and the kind of experience I have had in terms of interacting with all sorts of people, I have in fact ended up becoming a true African. I consider my tribe, for example, if there is such a thing, my ethnic community, as African. But when you meet people that you grew up together, they have different experiences.
Yes.
You have no budget, they have budgets.
Thank you. That is why we need to, this is an education, this is a conversation that we need to promote. That's why we have United People for African Congress, UPAC, to bring us together, and thank God for the leadership there. We have Uganda, we have Tanzania, we have Mali, all African countries, we are on the table. Recently, on February 22nd, we convened a meeting through the DNC, helping us to facilitate that at the White House, and it was a very impressive gathering of African diaspora leaders, 180 African leaders from different countries in the United States, states in the United States, and representing different African countries and organizations. That is what is needed for us to be able to get the attention of politicians and for us to reclaim our voice and for us to be able to clear forcefully and positively for our country. Talking about policy, we should be the one drafting policy. Everyone bring your idea, what you think that affect your community, and we'll be able to bring it. And when we deliver that to governments back home, they have no reason to resist it because we are here as an ambassador. That's what we are. When I used to work in Nigeria immigration, there's what we call expatriate. Sometimes I used to think expatriate is someone who has too much knowledge.
Right.
But that's not what it means. It's someone who is working in a foreign land. We are here as expatriates, but nobody treats you the way they treat expats in Africa, provide all amenities, transport, security, and everything. Worship them as a second God. Maybe someone who didn't even graduate from high school, but has some knowledge. So we need to start knowing who we are, that we didn't just come here by chance. We came here to learn, and we've learned enough to be able to help our people. That's why there is suffering. President Clinton said that Africa or Nigeria is suffering from brain drain. We have those brain here helping to build this country. And it's good for the country to help us, harness us, so that we'll be able to help them do what they want to do in Africa.
You know, it is very interesting because I have experienced certain situations where I am in Nigeria, for example, and my fans, in fact, look at me as one of them. Mm-hmm. I am in Ghana, and it is the same thing. I'm in Kenya, I'm in Tanzania, and you name it, nobody even thinks about or worries about whether, in fact, I come from Kabale. So I think it is doable.
And that's why I like your show.
Thank you.
This speaks very distinctively to Africans. Everyone talk about your show. So we need to start promoting who we are, celebrating who we are. If the reason because African, we hate to appreciate ourselves. Same thing with our leaders. When they come here, they're looking for a journalist. They will prefer to look for Larry King where he is. But they know you are doing, and you communicate directly than Larry King. You understand? So that is the problem we have. We tend to look for something foreign, and we need to start decolonizing our mentality.
Well, due to course,